my lovelies, I started out 2024 with a little bit of a goal to do less shopping, and I definitely want to say that I have, but I found that there are so many ways of upgrading your style without spending money and without buying clothes that might not actually fix the underlying problem of kind of feeling like my style is looking a little bit worn. And in fact, I feel like it's really valuable to do all of these things before you go shopping if you end up doing that as well. But the best part about all of these tips is that it applies to, I want to say, any style, because they're not rooted in being trendy or following a certain aesthetic. They're really about just leveling up every single outfit you could possibly put together with all the clothes that you already have in your wardrobe. So I have noticed in myself that I have a little bit of a pattern of wanting to reach for shopping as the first solution whenever I feel like my style is a little bit lackluster, like I'm not really inspired to get dressed. My mind just tells me that if you're buying more clothes, you're gonna have fun with the new clothes. And because that is something my brain tells me and I have done, I've also noticed that the result is not always as magical as I would hope it would be. Because when I come home and I put those new clothes into the wardrobe, it still doesn't really inspire me. I still feel a little bit like exhausted looking at it, overwhelmed, and I've come to realize it's because when I'm looking at my wardrobe, it's not only because I see too many options in general, it's because I see too many options that I can't really wear. And this could be for lots of different reasons. It's just that when I'm looking at an item, in my brain I go, I can't wear that. Either it's not for the season, it's damaged in some way, it doesn't fit anymore, I'm sick and tired of it and I want to set it on fire, which in hindsight definitely is a sign that I should have decluttered already. But my first step is always to do a declutter, and if you've been on my channel for pretty much any amount of time, I am sure you know that I love doing declutters, and I personally think it's really valuable to do them quite regularly. That way you can kind of take stock of what you have and assess it, and it doesn't just build up and suddenly you have drawers upon drawers of things you can't remember that you even own. But for me, I know that it's always the first best step to do when I'm feeling a little bit stuck with my style or I want to upgrade it. I really have to make sure that my wardrobe isn't an overwhelming, exhausting mess that really just forces me to wear the same kind of things again and again that I get quite bored with. As a general rule, I really like to sort out things that are in need of repair or things that just don't really fit anymore, things that are out of season. I like to pack them away so I don't have to look at them every single day and get tired of them and just feel like my wardrobe is more stuffed, because sometimes it can look like we have a ton of clothes but we don't, because we're keeping just so many clothes that we can't actually wear. We want to avoid that, so I like to just clear all of those things out, and whatever is left in the wardrobe are things that I can actually wear. I have more space and it always helps me put together better and more interesting outfits. And doing a declutter also makes it a lot easier to do my next tip. And this is something I learned because I used to have a wardrobe filled with beautiful clothes and I loved looking at them and I treasured them, and I would kind of take them out of my wardrobe and look at them. I would even try them on, but then I just had this thing where I wouldn't really wear them, and I just felt like I couldn't use up my best outfits unless it was a special occasion. And honestly, how silly is that? I realize it as I'm saying it out loud, it doesn't make sense, but in the moment it somehow made sense. And it went so far that I actually had several beautiful pieces, both clothing and accessories, sitting in my wardrobe for years and I never wore them. And it came to a point where some of them were just not really in style anymore and I could still wear them, but I honestly had gotten so tired of them, just looking at them so many times without actually wearing them. I felt like I was a bit over it, which is kind of crazy. And I've also had the instance where the clothes no longer fit and I just felt like kicking myself for why didn't I wear this when I actually fit into it. But thankfully I have put this ridiculous notion away. And I mean, we all know that a boring, mundane day can be made so much more special by wearing a favorite outfit or something really special. It just brightens the day. And I'm not saying to wear a ball gown to work, but hopefully you get what I mean. Sometimes we just have these things that we hang on to and try to save for a special occasion. Honestly, that occasion might never come and you could have worn that piece so many times, and if it does, you can still wear that same piece. You can find something even better, because the biggest waste truly would be to let the best clothes you have just hang in your wardrobe unworn. So one of the best ways to upgrade your wardrobe without doing any shopping is to go into your own wardrobe and find those pieces. Don't wait until all of these things feel kind of old or stale in your wardrobe. And I've personally found that the more I wear a piece, the more outfit ideas I get for it. I like to repeat my outfits. It's truly the easiest and fastest way to get dressed in an outfit you already know you love. Speaking of getting dressed fast, let me know if this sounds familiar. Let's say it's Sunday evening and I know that I feel better when I'm wearing an outfit that I really like, so I've decided that this week I will wear my best outfits. I am going to get up early tomorrow morning and I'm kind of loosely planning some outfit ideas in my head. I'm gonna have a cup of coffee as I'm getting dressed. Maybe I'll even try a new hairstyle that I saw on Instagram last week. I mean, it's just gonna be great. It's definitely not going to be stressful at all. And then Monday morning comes and the alarm goes off and suddenly all the grand plans I had feel very insignificant in the face of having a little bit more sleep. So I sleep through all my alarms and now I'm late. I will have to skip breakfast in favor of taking a shower. I vaguely remember that I had some outfit plan, but I can't find any of the things I wanted to wear because turns out they are in the laundry. So I'm just grabbing whatever I typically wear that is clean and nearby, and I'm zipping up my jeans as I am putting on my shoes and I'm just running out the door. Just me? Okay, sure. I always feel like when I put together an outfit the evening before, I have that time to be relaxed and I feel so much more creative that way. You don't have to spend a ton of time on it. It varies. Sometimes I'll play around with a couple different outfits and sometimes I just have a look and put together something I know works. But either way, it always is so much less stressful and it just streamlines the whole process. And I even put out my accessories so everything can be done. I mean, I'm usually dressed in a minute or two, and it just means that when I'm actually out the door, I can still spend the day in an outfit that I love without any of the stress. It can feel a little bit annoying to actually do it in the evening, so I wouldn't say it's the easiest thing to do, but it's also kind of easy to just, I mean, you have to put together an outfit, so you might as well just do it a few hours before you have to wear it. Using my awake brain instead of my half asleep brain is definitely one of the biggest changes to my style and one of the biggest upgrades, I would say. I make sure my clothes are wrinkle free, and this is such a small thing, a small tip, but it makes such a big difference. And I don't mean just the pieces that are kind of obvious to either steam or iron, like button-up shirts. I like to even steam my t-shirts because they just look so much better. They look a little bit more refreshed and I think they just hang a little bit better. And I like to steam my clothes in the evening when I'm putting out next day's outfit. I feel like when the clothes get to kind of cool down, they just set a little bit better and they're not like kind of steamy or sweaty to put on. And also, should my steamer kind of spit out a little bit of water, I don't have to immediately put on clothes with like a big watermark on them. Steaming, it really doesn't take me that long and it makes such a big difference. I don't do it for every single item that I wear, but if you're not someone who typically does it, I mean, try it. It looks great for knitwear and t-shirts, blazers obviously. I even do this for my jeans, especially if I store them kind of rolled up in a drawer. They look so much better once I give them a little bit of a steam. So if this is not something you're in the habit of doing, give it a try and see if you like it. The next thing I like to do is to give my wardrobe a little bit of a treat maybe, and give my accessories. I like to call it a spa day because I'm extra that way, but especially as I've gone through the decluttering process, so all the things that if they had a seam that needed to be repaired, or a hole or a loose button, or even like stains, things like that, I like to take care of. But I also take the clothes that I need to make small alterations to. Maybe I need to hem something and I just put that in a pile. I don't necessarily do everything at once because sometimes it's a lot, and then I just spend a little bit of time at night over the coming weeks fixing little things before I put them back into the wardrobe. And I also do something similar-ish for my accessories. I like to go over them, clean them, and I condition the leather. And I also, for my handbags, I like to go over with Carbon Pro and just give them a little bit of a freshening up. This way I will also spot if there is any damage before it gets any worse, but typically there isn't. But I really find that taking care of the handbags this way really helps them last much longer. And then I do kind of the same for the shoes. I really make sure that my shoes are clean. Dirty shoes is one of the easiest ways of ruining an outfit, especially if they're kind of light shoes or white shoes. It just drags everything down. It's much better to go for a black shoe in that case. But I really think that well-kept accessories, both shoes and handbags and even belts, just really elevate an outfit when they are kept up well. In my experience, it makes it much easier to clean the accessories next time if I do it kind of regularly. And I also find that putting this time and care into my wardrobe is making me appreciate them a little bit more. Can I say it's almost like a more mindful way of owning clothes and becoming aware of what is valuable and worth having in your wardrobe. I always feel like if I don't think it's worth taking care of an item, it maybe wasn't the best purchase. It always makes me itch less to go shopping, and when I actually do buy new things, I feel like I have a better idea of what is actually worth adding to my wardrobe.